Hello, everyone. My name is Jason, and this is Netminder Review. So, there is some disconcerting news that came out today regarding the New York Rangers, and that is the fact that Igor Shesterkin and Pavel Buchnevich were in an automobile accident in Brooklyn on Sunday night, February 23rd, which is last night. And according to John Davidson, the president of the New York Rangers, Buchnevich was, quote, quite shaken up, but not seriously injured. On the other hand, as it relates to Igor Shesterkin, Shesterkin suffered a fractured rib and is expected to miss some time. Now, Shesterkin is expected to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So he's at least going to miss the next 2 weeks. And the New York Rangers are in the midst of a push to potentially take a playoff spot. So where are the Rangers right now? The Rangers in the standings are 6 points out of the second wild card spot. Columbus currently holds the second wild card spot with 76 points. The Rangers have 70 points, and sitting in between them is Carolina with 74 points. So the Rangers are 6 points out of a playoff spot, with Carolina to have to leapfrog to take that last wild card spot. However, the Rangers do have 3 games in hand on Columbus. So that certainly puts them in a good situation if they can win those games in hand. So if I'm a Rangers fan right now, I'm looking at the standings, and at least before the news about Shesterkin, and I'm thinking, okay, it's not great. It's not a great situation, but it can be done. Florida is fighting for a playoff spot, and they currently have 70 points, just like the Rangers do. But Florida has not been playing as well lately as the Rangers have. Buffalo is fighting for that spot as well. They have 66 points, and they have been playing better. Carolina's been good-ish, and they're between Columbus and the Rangers, and then Columbus themselves have really been on a downturn lately. I know they played Ottawa today. I haven't looked at the score yet, so I'm not sure who won that game. I was keeping track of it. Last I saw it was 2-2. So can the Rangers take a playoff spot with Shesterkin out? Shesterkin so far has had a heck of a rookie season for the few games that he's played. Now, I don't want to get all excited about him, let me rephrase that. I don't want to get so excited about Shesterkin's numbers and his play that I become unrealistic and blow him up to be more than he is. I think Merzlikins in Columbus had a time where he was amazing, and now he's fallen off a little bit. So, that's a cautionary tale there with Merzlikins. And of course, there have been so many of them throughout the history of the NHL where a guy comes up, plays fantastically for a time, and then comes back down to earth. But I do think that Shesterkin was really a major part of the hope that Rangers fans could have. But all hope is not lost. So Shesterkin in the month of February has played, 6 games, or he's started 6 games in the month of February, and he's won them all. Now, the Rangers have won 9 out of their 12 games in February, so they've really been making a good push to try to push into a playoff spot. But Shesterkin, with 6 of those 9 wins, has been a significant part of that. Now, Shesterkin so far this year, he's played in 10 games. He's got a 9-1-0 record with a .223 goals against and a .940 save percentage. Those numbers are quite exceptional, and one could argue that he wouldn't have been able to maintain those numbers. Of course, we can't know that for sure, but those numbers are not usually maintainable for a significant portion of time, except maybe by some of the really elite goaltenders. So who knows what would have happened in the coming weeks, but it's definitely a damper on the joy of the Rangers fans, I would think, to see Shesterkin injured in this car accident. Now, of course, I don't want to gloss over the fact that he is okay, and that's fantastic. Obviously, with a car accident, it could have been much worse, but we still have to look at it from a hockey standpoint and say, what does it mean to the New York Rangers? Well, one thing that we know for the New York Rangers that is good is that they have not traded Alexander Georgiev. Now, with Shesterkin playing so well and Lundqvist on the payroll as well, I think there was a lot of speculation that Georgiev could have gotten dealt within the last week or two. The Rangers did not deal Georgiev, and then with the trade deadline today, of course, knowing that Shesterkin was going to be hurt, I think it makes sense that they decided to keep him going on, and they signed Kreider today. One has to think that the Rangers are seeing themselves in a position to really push for that playoff spot, but can Georgiev and Lundqvist combined give them what Shesterkin was giving them? Well, Georgiev, 23 years old, has played in 28 games this year. He's 14-12-1 with a 2.98 goals against and a 912 save percentage. Now that 2.98 goals against average, pales in comparison to Shesterkin's 2.23, and the 912 save percentage is definitely good, but it pales in comparison to Shesterkin's 940 save percentage. So Georgiev is good and good enough to win games and arguably good enough to carry the Rangers into a playoff spot if they can leapfrog Carolina and catch Columbus and hold off Buffalo and Florida. Of course, Buffalo might take the third place spot in their division since it doesn't seem like Toronto's wanting to hold on to it. So maybe Georgiev can be the goalie that they need in order to make that playoff push. Maybe Shesterkin will be back before the playoffs start. What about Lundqvist? Well, we all know Henrik Lundqvist is, arguably a Hall of Fame goaltender. He's had a spectacular career. Everyone has nothing but respect for Lundqvist, but Lundqvist has played 28 games this year. He's 10-11-3 with a 3.11 goals against and a 907 save percentage. So, the 907 save percentage compared to Georgiev's 912 or Shesterkin's 940, not getting it done, and the 311 goals against average compared to the sub 3 goals against average of the other two, also not getting it done. Lundqvist is 37 years old. This could be his last year. He may retire at the end of this year. Who knows? He hasn't played in a game since February 11th against Winnipeg. He didn't start that game. He only played 6 minutes and 4 seconds in that game. He hasn't started a game, Lundqvist I'm speaking of here, has not started a game since he started against Dallas on February 3rd. And in that game, he allowed 4 goals on 15 shots. Now, the start before that, he had a shutout. I believe it was a 33-shot shutout. It was against Detroit. So, And before that, on January 11th, he allowed 5 goals on 29 shots against St. Louis. And on January 2nd, he allowed 4 goals on 29 shots against Calgary. So we all know Lundqvist is not the Lundqvist of old. I think we probably all can agree that if New York is going to make a push into the playoffs, it's not going to be with Lundqvist as their starting goaltender. And so it's going to have to be Georgiev, at least until Shesterkin is back. And, of course, we don't know how long that's going to be, but at least 2 weeks. So if I'm a Rangers fan right now, I'm feeling a little down, but thankful that my team hasn't traded Georgiev or didn't trade Georgiev over the last couple of weeks, because he may be the answer to what is going to get the Rangers into the playoffs if they can make it. And I'm not trying to just take the Rangers and place them right in the playoffs, but I do think they have a realistic shot. If I were, a Rangers fan, I would have been feeling pretty optimistic with the way they've been playing in February and with the way some of the other teams that are in playoff contention are just really not consistently winning games. So anyway, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. If you're a Rangers fan, tell me how you're feeling, how much confidence you have in Georgiev. And I would really appreciate it if you'd hit like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have an excellent night.